One.
Hello.
Welcome to GZR Ground Zero. We were mic checking because we were ready to get on the air and say hello to you, our loyal listeners.
Mm-hmm. We're excited.
Yep.
Here we are again.
This is Michaela Compton with Ground Zero Radio, and I have my wonderful rock and roll co-host in the studio, which it's going to be a permanent thing, right?
Well, we see how it goes, right? See if we get kicked out.
Tris Mahaffey and
Hello.
Mike Karen. Howdy. Welcome to KOCI 101.5 LPFM in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa. That's where we are. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We have a great show planned for you. We have Justin Froese and Justin Busch in the studio tonight. Mm-hmm. And at 8 o'clock, we have Michael Olivieri.
Well done.
Yes. Been practicing the olive. The
Yes,
olive part. Make sure I get that correct. Don't want to botch a name for sure. All right. So Justin and Justin, you know what? Do you mind if I refer to you as Froese and Busch so I
That's
could
how we do it.
distinguish which one I'm asking?
Frozen Busch, yeah.
Frozen Busch. Oh my Lord.
Oh boy.
The new duo project, yeah. So.
And I understand that there are different ways to pronounce your last name.
Oh, there's so many ways. Yeah.
One is with the pinky up. And how do you say that one?
Froese.
Oh.
Froese.
Yeah.
Like rosé.
All right. When you read it, what did you say or think?
Oh, I went to Google and I said, how do you say this? And it gave me 5 different interpretations, so
Exactly.
I finally asked.
There you go. Yeah, I'll be your chat GPT on that one. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. So thank you guys for coming in tonight. We're happy to share your songs, and I understand you've got some not quite published yet, or not yet released,
Yeah.
or did you just drop Choose Love? Did you just drop it?
We just dropped Choose Love on the 14th of April, and that one has been going well. That one's a powerful story for us. And then I think we gave you 2 others that
You did?
are unreleased. So
That's where the unreleases come in,
Yeah.
only here on Ground Zero.
That's
You're not
right.
going to hear this anywhere else.
first to hear.
First crack.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Tonight. All right. So, let's talk a little bit about how you guys started working together.
Oh, totally. So we have a mutual friend, Lola Christine, and she introduced us. She kept talking about this guy, Justin. And I'm like, wait,
I'm right here.
you talking about me? And eventually introduced us. And I think, I played some guitar on one of your tracks?
That's right, yeah. Never Be More Free. That was a sync thing that Lola and I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And you produced it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you're like, who's this guy? So then when we met, man, we just like hit it off on music, on life, on so many things. And so we set up our first co-write.
Choose Love was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the day we first ever got in the room together and wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big day.
Awesome. That's what we're going to hear right now.
All right.
All right. Check this out. This is Choose Love by Justin Froese, or Froese, and Justin Busch.
If we choose love, love will choose us. Bound by love in a field of light. Outside the courtroom, our hands held high. Everyone knows it. This is our moment. This is our choice. The earth was turning, but time stood still. If we don't find out, we never will. Can tear us apart. 1 million hearts speaking with one voice. This is how freedom is won. If we choose love, love will choose us. If we choose love, love will choose us. When you're on the right side of history, how it was ain't how it's got to be. If we can unite, we can rewrite how the story all goes. When children ask how we made it through, we show them pictures of me and you out in the streets. We rolled up our sleeves and fought for better days. This is how freedom is won. If we choose love, love will choose us. If we choose love, love will choose us. Love will choose us. One day when it's all said and done, no more left and right, it'll just be us living as one. It's all because if we choose love, love will choose us. 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 If we choose love, love will choose us.
Right on,
Nice.
guys.
I like that one.
I love that positive message.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so we were talking about what genre that fits into, and I like what you came up with. Americana gospel rock?
AGR. Americana
AGR.
Gospel Rock,
It's
yeah.
a thing.
There you go.
We're bringing it.
Yeah.
See,
Hashtag.
that is another thing that we do here on Ground Zero is we help people come up with their own genres.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like the name of your genre. You don't need to fit into this pocket or that pocket. What's your pocket?
Exactly, exactly. And this one was important to us. There's a good story behind it. I don't know if you want to tell us kind of how we started writing this.
Totally. Like, we got together this morning back in June of last year, and we were just like, yeah, so what do you want to write about? But right before we went in there, there's something on the news that morning, and you brought it up, and it was June 24th. It was the day that Roe versus Wade was overturned. And so we were
Wow.
freaking feeling it, and we
We were
couldn't
floored, yeah.
we couldn't ignore that.
Like to have for us it was like, man, you know, like things haven't always been perfect, but at least we're always moving towards more freedom. And then it just felt like we rolled backwards, you know. It was so we're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, we just gotta, you know, we kind of wanted to get our little protest song in, and
Right.
that's where it started.
Well, we tried for maybe like a little bit after talking about that to write something else, but then it just kept coming
That's the
up.
one. That's
Yeah.
the one it has to be
Yeah.
right
And
now.
we knew we had to write it, and so
Yeah.
you know, I just started kind of playing some chords based on the vibe. That's like always my approach is like, based upon what we've been talking about, the energy in the room, I just let my hands start doing something. I had this little thing, and Busch is so great. He's like, that's cool, keep doing that. I'm like, okay, good. And then it just kind of came out line by line.
It's cool how, like, if you listen to the lyric, like, and it almost doesn't matter, like, you know, how you feel about any given issue. It's just that you have to think about if you can take this freedom away, what else could be taken away. So the concept of the song is the story told in three parts. It starts out with these people are protesting in front of this courthouse, and then it moves forward in the second verse to children are looking back at these photos of them protesting. They're asking, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, we were fighting for you. And then it moves forward again in the third verse to kind of saying, hey, we've achieved this goal. And so I think it's relatable to anyone who's, just, feels like, things could be rolling in a different direction.
I think it's really important that you guys have this songwriting team kind of going together, because you can bounce ideas off of each other.
Totally.
And then you finish the thought process, if you will, to make the song.
Totally.
And that's one of those things that's really important about songwriting together, and it's obvious you've done it here. It's a great tune. Loved it. Front to back.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And two things before I forget them, because I have a habit of doing that. What was I going to say? It's gone. No, you mentioned protest song. Okay, but I love how you made it a positive protest song.
Yes.
Because on that particular day, I wasn't thinking the pretty words that you guys just sang. I wasn't,
Yeah, that was intentional.
I was more brokenhearted and had some not nice words, or thoughts. And so I really like that you spun it. And, telling people, asking people, encouraging people, no, let's choose love. The other thing I noticed that you said, Busch, was, well, as you were describing the verses, I could visualize the whole video. So do you have a video plan for this?
We've been talking about it. Yeah.
Also, maybe, Justin, you could talk about who the message is for. This is an interesting thing that you brought up.
Right. Because that came up early in the writing process. Right? Okay, we're going to write about this issue. But it came through for me, I remember feeling like I don't want this to be like a FU, like an angry kind of thing. I want this to be like let's take the high road. And really, if you're in a place of power and you have this influence over laws, like our message is directly to those people, not to the people whose rights were taken away. And so it's to them. It's choose from a place of love. To love is to accept people. It's to let them be as they are. Let them choose what they want to choose. And so if someone wants to make that choice to have an abortion for whatever their reasons are, that's their business. Let them do that, right?
Yeah, we wanted it to be positive, but to not downplay the type of emotions like you were having. Like, we don't want to gloss it over. So that was an important thing that, we want it to be like we're not like downplaying how you're feeling. Like, oh, just choose love. It's actually to the people that are oppressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that came across.
Good. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. It really did.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Wipe sweat off brow.
Is it hot in here?
Yeah. Well, I can totally foresee a video if you guys choose to go that route. I mean, you gave us the visual in your description of the verses. That's awesome. And that this protest song that you spun it in a way that it's commercially friendly song. It's very singable, so immediately anyone can start singing along. And really, once you allow those words to come out of your mouth, if you choose love, love will choose us. I mean, really, when you verbalize that, doesn't that return to you immediately, filling your heart with a little more peace instead of the angry words? And then the angry words can just fuel you with more anger.
Totally.
So I love the lyric choices, and I love that you made it so easy to sing along. I'm sure it wasn't easy to write, but in your expert writing session, you made it that way. You made it easy for people to sing along and pick up on the idea you're trying to get across right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think the message is clear. We can go back and years. Wasn't John Lennon speaking about the very same thing? So the point is that send a positive message out, and hopefully that will produce change. And it's a matter of time, but we can't give up. We just have to keep going and see where it leads us.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Do you mind if we give a shout out to your backup singers on that song?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because there's someone local on that list, right?
Yes, yeah. There's two ladies that just brought it on the vocal level and helped us build this incredible choir sound. And so one is actually a lady I worked with in Nashville, Kendra Chantel, amazing artist, and she worked with me on a Warner Chapel thing, and I was just blown away. And then we brought in a local gal, a longtime friend of mine, Lola Christine, who's here in like the Laguna area, and she just brought the fire, and the two of them just, yeah.
Nice job,
Moved
ladies.
me. Yeah,
nice
ladies.
job. Shout out to
Yeah.
Kendra and Lola for the choir.
Can I shout someone out real quick?
Sure.
My friend Poppy is listening. She's 5 years old. She's getting ready to turn 6, and
Poppy.
I just I hear she's enjoying the radio show. So hey, Poppy.
Hey, Poppy.
Hi, Poppy.
She's listened to the song and she gives a thumbs up rating. She gave this one 2 thumbs up, and it doesn't come easy. So thank you, Poppy, for the 2 thumbs up rating on this one.
Yay.
Awesome.
That is sweet. I'm glad she's tuning in. And yeah, we love to hear from the fans. And if you feel like calling in to talk to any one of us, especially our special guest tonight, Justin Froese and Justin Busch, you can call us at 949-650-1015. If I don't answer right away, just call back until I do answer. All right? We'd love to hear from you. Next, we're going to hear another... You guys are good together.
Man,
How's that for some fancy words?
We'll take
You
it.
guys
Yeah,
are
there you
good.
go.
we're trying to stay humble, but you know, yeah.
Well, I do know Justin Busch is very humble, and I'm gathered that from you as well.
Thank you.
The Earth Below. Let's talk about this song.
Wow, this one. Well, I was staying up in Topanga Canyon. It's a place where I have some friends and have just been loving that land, really. I felt like every time I went up there, it spoke to me. It almost embraced me every time I turned up the road. And so I was house sitting up there and invited Bush up to come and, you know, be in that inspirational place. And
My first time, by the way.
your first time,
In
yeah, up
Topanga,
there.
yeah.
And gosh, how do songs even start? This one, it was like, were you messing around on the piano?
I was. I don't think we quite used that idea, but you had started something off, and then we kind of combined ideas.
Yeah.
And the view, I think the view is key, that what we were looking at from this ridiculous house.
Up at the top of the canyon, just looking down through like,
Sunsetting through the canyon. I mean, just this epic, inspiring thing. Like, you feel so grounded just looking at this, you know?
yeah. And so it started to emerge this like love song for the canyon, and this image of being the earth below the waters that flow across it, and just...
Yeah, it was just kind of like this concept of, like, you know, you could look at it as, you know, kind of literally as this relationship as told in the song, or metaphorically about kind of finding your center and your peace, and sort of like, as, you know, there's this sort of like winding, powerful river that's carving out a canyon, you know, then there's this steady ground below it, and that's kind of the metaphor, whether you want to look at it, yeah, again, literally as a relationship, or kind of more metaphorically. I'm like the guy who overtells the songs. Like, Bob Dylan would be slapping me right now. But
You're doing great, man. You're doing great.
But that's what we want
He's
to
going-
do here.
He's going, that's not exactly at all. I had an entirely different idea.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, me and my friends, we argue over what like
it
a
means.
boots of Spanish leather. Do you love her or hate her?
All right. I think we should check it out. You ready for this?
Do it.
The Earth Below.
If you look closely beside you in the darkness, it's your one and only, all you ever wanted. Lift you from the shadows by the shine. I'll strike the match, you start the fire. You can be the river running through the canyon, and I'll be the earth below. listen closely, leaning to the silence, sounds you're hearing. A melody is timeless. It's two hearts melting into one. The rising moon to the setting sun. You could be the river running through the canyon, and I'll be the earth below. You could be the night sky, the stars above, and I'll be the earth below. Be the earth below. Take my hand when the water's rising, winds are flying. This romance, there's no denying. You could be the river running through the canyon, and I'll be the earth below. You could be the night sky, the stars above, yeah, and I'll be the earth below. Yeah, I'll be the earth below. I'll be the earth below.
Stunning, stunning. Justin Froese and Justin Busch with The Earth Below. Wow, yeah. A music video for that could go in a couple different directions. Or you could combine the different possible stories.
My ideas, combine the different ideas I
Yes,
have.
right. Yeah, combine that idea with my idea.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what ideas? Give me ideas.
Our off-air ideas of women swaying to this beautiful song, holding a glass of rosé. That's what we were talking about, right?
I could see it. Yes.
Beautiful, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, you guys, and that song actually. Well, I mean, the same thing happens here with that song too. The way you put it together lyrically, it gives me this visual picture. And whether you're talking about, Mother Earth, or whether you're talking about a romantic story, or whatever the listener thinks that the song's about, I could totally see all of those pieces coming together in a music video. So that at the end of the video, you're still wondering, is it about stunning Mother Earth, or is it about that romantic relationship, or is it about
All of it.
red wine meets white wine, or what is it about? Chicks meet women. Chicks turn into women.
Yeah.
They
There
grow
you go.
into women.
There we go.
That was
Exactly.
a little bit of our off-the-air conversation there. So let's talk on air a little more about who helped on that song. You're talking about the person who did the lead.
Yeah, so, and that's been such a cool experience in working with Justin Busch here, is the way that he creates and produces songs is like pulling on all these different musicians like that he's met, and like such a huge network of talent. And it's been so refreshing for me because I've come from a place where I've done everything myself. I've just been one of those guys where I like play it all, produce it all, mix it all, and everything. And I like really reached the end of that line, and that's when I met this guy. And so that's just been such a beautiful thing, how you've brought in so many amazing musicians to interpret these songs. So on drums, was that Tommy?
That was Tommy Harden on drums. He plays with Alabama, and he plays in guys play with Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
He's like a really cool, like kind of just in the pocket sort of guy. One thing I was going to say on that, one lesson that I learned, and I tell this story a lot. Mike Garson, who was David Bowie's band leader for many years, is a close friend of mine, and I would always just love to pick his brain about what did Bowie want with this, and one thing that I thought was crazy is he's like, Bowie let us do our thing, and I was like, man, you think David Bowie and you hear all this crazy stuff like on Aladdin Sane, that was all him, like all the crazy piano stuff, and so I'm like, I'm like, if David Bowie, and Mike always said, David Bowie was meticulous about finding the right band. I heard Miles was the same way, but once they did, they let him do their thing. And so, I was like, I really tried to do that, find the right people, and then exactly like Justin said, let them interpret it with their expertise.
Yeah, and so, we didn't give tons of direction on this. We would give them, the guitar part, acoustic that I played, and the vocal, and then just send it to them and let them do their thing and send it back. And we never had to send it back and be like, oh, no, that's wrong, do it again, which is incredible.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Like you said, finding the right people.
Yep.
You know what they've written or produced or played for before.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what their tendencies are.
Their instincts, yeah.
Their instincts, exactly that.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for the right people. No, just kidding.
They're here. They're around.
Well, yeah, they are sitting in this room right now.
That's
Let's
right.
write something.
Let's
write something.
Let's do it.
Oh, man. Everybody, I need you to hang tight. We'll be right back with more from Justin Froese and Justin Busch. We are back. You're listening to Ground Zero here on KOCI 101.5 LPFM in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa. And in the studio tonight, our special guests are Justin Froese, also known as Froese, and Justin Busch.
Sorry, man.
It was true before you told her.
If I hear things like this, I'm going to wear it out.
Yeah, I love it.
Be careful what you tell me.
That's it. Yeah.
It's all fair game.
Why not? We got to have
Let
fun.
me adjust the mic. Yeah.
With the pinky.
The funny part of that too is it's maybe the first names that should change, not the last.
Maybe.
We have another friend named Justin, so when the three of us hang out, it's really a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Justin, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin.
Justy.
Everyone who hangs out with us is just not Justin.
Right.
Right, not Justin. That's hilarious. All right, you have another one to share with us, and this one, Whiskey Soaked. Hello. What is this about?
This one was one of those sort of creative assignments, to be honest, where we're like, hey, could we write a country song about whiskey that we haven't heard yet?
That you haven't heard.
That we haven't
Therein
heard.
lies the trick.
Yeah. And write it with some people in mind and kind of swing for the fences. So this one, who we write with in mind?
It kind of is like a Stapleton
Yeah,
vibe.
Stapleton.
It's like brushes and kind of like a little bit of that darker production.
Yeah.
But still has kind of like some sort of kind of more modern melodic ideas in there. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. You ready? Should we just launch it?
Let's
launch the whiskey.
Launch this puppy.
pour it out.
We stood alone in the middle of an empty street, staring up at the stars with your arms around me. Look me straight in the eyes and swore you never let me go, but your promises were whiskey soaked. The seasons changed, I guess we did too. Who we became, not the wild-eyed kids we once knew. We said we'd give each other the world and we never let go, but those promises were whiskey soaked. Yeah, they were whiskey soaked. Not like I didn't love you, not like I didn't care. We gave it everything. Now my heart whiskey soaked. Yeah, they are whiskey soaked. Not like I didn't love you, not like I didn't care. We gave it everything. Now my heart's is empty. Is a glass on the table by a picture in a broken frame. And everything's whiskey soaked. Everything's whiskey soaked. Yes, whiskey soaked. Swore this would be my last one, but I said they were the last one. I wonder when you see my ghost. 'Cause everything's too whiskey soaked. 'Cause everything's still whiskey soaked.
The hook, the hook, the hook, the hook, the hook.
Yeah, great tune.
Everybody knows what that song was, right? Whiskey soaked, and that's exactly what you want them to. You want them to come away from that song still singing it,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So who did the background vocals? Because I like to guess and then see what it really is. But it sounds like you did your own harmony on that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nailed it.
that's very
Nailed it.
good.
Wow. Jeez, someone's been listening.
No, but really, who did? You did?
Yes.
Yay! Yeah, no, I
Winner.
it's me. I'm a dork. I pay attention to these details.
I
And
love that. Me too. So
awesome.
do I.
They're key.
also, I want to compliment the mix with the organ.
Yeah.
Because often
B3's coming through.
it's so nicely placed without fighting with the vocals, because a lot of times, even though the organ might be, hitting some great stuff, and maybe even the organ is the sole source of determining what that genre is because of the organ or something. The organ was not fighting with the vocals. It was so nicely placed. So whoever mixed that volume level on that organ, bravo.
I feel like if you have a song that has a Whirly or Wurlitzer organ and a B3, you can ride them in different directions, different parts of the song to change energy. So, on this song, you got the Whirly out front on the verses to kind of give you that darkness. And then you've got your B3 kind of giving you the gospel-y thing. But you're right, it's tough to not get it over the vocals. If any producers are listening, scoop your organs at about 2K. Take about 3 dB off at about 2K on your mix, and you'll help your vocal there.
I'm going to write that down.
Let me write that down right now.
Right.
Let's say it again.
But it's also the player, right?
Totally.
That
Well,
person
yeah.
that can interpret the song, when
Yes.
to play, what
Yeah.
what draws and everything. And that was Dennis?
Dennis Wage, I've literally never said a word to that guy in 20 years. I'm just like, play organ. And it's just like...
No feedback,
I mean,
just...
God,
he does his thing,
He's
yeah.
like Benmont. I mean, he is that good. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So...
Nice. Yeah. It's how you play it too. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
That is.
And in that particular song, I heard a little bit more grit in that song from your vocal. It was nice to hear.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, you have a very pleasant voice.
I mean, Justin just sang a gospel song, an Americana song, and a country song. I mean, how versatile, man. That's amazing.
Right?
It really is.
Right?
Thank
I
you.
say that about his voice all the time. So versatile. I love working with any genre. Like, you just know you're going to get an insane vocal.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate that.
Nice. All right, so what's on the horizon for the two of you?
Well, we got Earth Below, the second one. That's coming out soon. We haven't picked a date. Should we pick a date on the air? Ooh, edgy.
Oh, man.
Sorry, it's a challenge.
We'll have to hold you to
Commercials, right? We got commercials?
Show me a calendar. So we got that coming up, and Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that we've written that I don't know that it's necessarily on brand for me. Like, I don't know if Whiskey Soaked is on brand for me as an artist. So we'll maybe make up another name and release it. Or, yeah, we've got our eye on sync, too, trying to get songs placed or cut with other artists. So we have, 3 or 4 other songs in the works right now, and then keep writing.
Yeah, we just keep writing.
Keep cranking, just see where this river takes us.
Keep the hit parade rolling, you know?
Yeah, I mean, all of the 6 or 7 we've done, we're all like, wow.
They turn out really good. He's such like a mature writer. It's so nice and refreshing. Like, as soon as we got in the room, just to, he can play, produce, both better than myself, which is really nice. And so he's great. He's great to work with.
I want to touch on something for a minute.
Sure.
All right. So you're talking about releasing what we've just heard tonight, and when you got to the song Whiskey Soaked, you mentioned that you don't know that it's necessarily on brand for you. You might release under another name.
Right.
Now that's an interesting concept. I want to talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
Because first of all, I love that idea.
Right? Why?
Well, because I write songs,
Yeah.
and my songs come out in every different genre.
Yeah.
Whatever I've written, it just comes out in that genre. I have nothing to do with it.
Right.
I'm like, so I'm not in any one genre ever.
I can identify with that.
So, number one, I don't know what my brand is. And that's an important thing for an artist to really figure out.
Yeah.
And number two, when you do write something that is not your brand, like you're saying, Whiskey Soaked possibly, to release it under another name.
Yep.
And then but it's you. It's your check account that hopefully those royalties are going to. But
and I think it's your soulful signature too, like the sound of you shining through anyway, so people may put it together. I think the branding thing, like, for a while I didn't know what to do with myself being such a chameleon, and I think that stopped me from letting things to continue to come out. And so once I got this concept of you make other monikers or artist names or brand names, these channels through which these other things can flow, that gave me so much freedom to be like, okay, I don't have to figure out how to explain to everyone all of who I am. I can show them this one main thing, So the whiskey for me is not like, I don't know, it's my thing. It's my thing's more like mezcal,
right
I was
here.
gonna say
High
that.
five on the air. Boom, boom, boom.
And maybe the opera record is next year or something.
Ooh,
Like that.
don't tempt me. I wrote an opera in high school as
Did
my
you?
senior project. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so don't tempt me with a good time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What name can we find that under?
It's not released. I don't think I can release
It's an Italian
it.
name.
Yeah.
That would be so interesting to listen. I mean,
Froserati.
For my Italian side, yeah. Froserati. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
There's that moniker. Okay, what else can we solve here?
Well, if you're gonna put Whiskey Soaked under another name, you need something there.
Yeah.
Hank somebody.
Yeah.
Hank somebody, that. Just Hank somebody.
Hank somebody.
Right. Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
Sounds like you're doing something to somebody. Don't Hank me.
It's Whiskey Soaked in the studio right now.
You know that I could Hank somebody.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what came to mind.
Kings of Froese.
Love it.
Oh, okay. This is a great conversation. How do we keep this going? Well, one way we can keep this going is to, you guys have my number. You know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Or Tris or Mike. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Get a hold of us. And when you're ready for the next set, we plan the next interview.
Let's do it.
That's
love
how we
that.
keep this great conversation going, too.
Yeah, thank you
I love
guys. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
It's supporting
definitely.
the local music, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have the outlet, and we're excited to be here and to hear this new music. It's the first time I've ever heard you.
Oh, really?
It's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I mean, I did a little searching
Yeah.
to come in here, and I'm like, oh, well, there you go. There's so much out there, and the quality of music is out there in Orange County. Let's face it, it's everywhere,
So many good people.
and it needs
Yeah.
to be heard.
Yeah.
So that's what we're
Yeah.
I
doing.
love what you're
Yeah.
doing. This is so good.
Yeah.
And when you get into it, though, it it's a small world also, because you have
Absolutely.
all this overlapping. You know Lola, Lola. I know Lola from Pure Stoke when she wrote the song for Pure Stoke. My daughter swims with Pure Stoke. I mean, not swims, surfs. It is more like swimming for her, but
Totally.
she surfs with them. Lola wrote a song for them on their website.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, who is this girl? I like that song.
Yeah.
Now, and then I knew Lola, interviewed her. She knows Justin. You know Heidi.
Yeah.
Around and around and around we go.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that web.
Yeah, she's crazy talented too, Lola. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, can she not sing runs for days?
Ridiculous.
She can any
Jeez.
word. She can run it for
Oh my gosh.
She's got
up
like
and down
that, like
forever.
I mean, just that effortless thing, like like the crooners, like she's like smoking a cigarette, head cocked while she just jumped up 14 octaves. You're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's got such soul and heart, and it like comes through so richly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
That's what I love. I love that about her.
Yeah.
And Heidi Merrill as well.
Crazy talented.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She's a baddie.
I know. And sweet
Yeah.
women. I can picture them holding a glass of rosé, swaying to the earth below.
Exactly.
Let's go.
A lot of talent here in Orange County, and we got the Justin Froese and Justin Busch here in the studio, and they will be back with us again
Yeah, definitely.
when they're ready to drop some more
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
awesomeness.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, everybody hang tight. We'll be right back. Yeah. Well, here's Ground Zero, bringing you original music every Monday night, 7 to 9 p.m. And my name is Michaela Compton, and I have Tris Mahave and Mike Karen.
Hello.
Howdy,
Yeah,
howdy.
they're not only co-hosting, they're also helping to curate the show, because they are so well plugged into the original rock and roll scene here in Southern California, and musicians and band manager themselves. So they and Tris builds amplifiers.
Yep. I got an amp company that I've been doing that for about 20 years.
Wow.
And it's been a nice little cottage business. Certainly doesn't pay all the bills, but they're little tube amps. And now my younger son has stepped up to building those. They're all hand wired.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it's a lot of work, and it kind of just sells itself. Back in the day, we were pretty much in all the magazines and stuff, but now somebody has one and will see one and call me and say, I gotta have the same thing.
There you go.
Yeah, so
And
pretty neat.
What is the name of that, if someone wanted to look you up?
Sure, it's Mahaffey, which is my last name, Mahaffay, amps.com. And we've got things up there that are kind of unique. We got a Leslie.
Oh, yeah, nice, cool.
really?
Yeah, a little miniature Leslie.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that goes with the amplifier, and there's a couple different models. Predominantly, we were always kind of hanging on to the hard rock thing, but a lot of people wanted something a little more sweeter sounding, so we built two different models. We also have a spring reverb, which is in a little foot pedal.
Oh,
It's got a real Accutronics tank in there.
I love it.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
so those three items are pretty much still to this day the only thing that's on the product list. But that's what I mentioned earlier about doing NAMM. I've got a new larger head style amp that I'm building, which I'm going to try to get out there for it's never a good idea to go up against maybe Fender and Marshall and all the rest of them, but what the heck, I'll try.
Yeah, do it. So you make a head also?
Yeah.
Aside from a combo? Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, cool.
Yeah, I'll send you the information on it.
Yeah,
It's certainly on the web.
Good.
But it's unique stuff. It's two bass, so it's got that warm tone, and it's very reliable. They don't break. They live forever.
I love that.
You
Do
know?
you use new old stock tubes, or how do you
So
use tubes?
I try not to get involved in all the mojo of the tube thing, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's questionable. But
Yeah.
I use brand new tubes.
Yeah.
From CE distribution, and they're usually JJs. And my common thing when I talk to guitar players, and they'll say something like, well, the amp sounded great yesterday, not necessarily talking about my amp, but maybe somebody else's. And they'll have this, well, my tone was this, and I'm like, well, okay, and they're like, it doesn't sound good anymore. I'm like, change your strings.
Yeah. It's not the amp.
That's it.
Yeah.
Change your flipping strings.
Start there.
And that everything will be fine.
Yes.
And it is.
Right.
And tell our listening audience a little bit about your original rock band.
Oh, me?
And Mike.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah.
The original Striker.
The original, not to be confused
Not to be
with
confused with any others, except no imitations.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were one of those 80s bands back in the early 80s. We played probably every club there was with all the usual suspects of hard rock bands. Well, about 1984, 85 had enough. And, you know, we were always kind of jeans and T-shirts, maybe something a little better, but we certainly were not a hair band.
Yeah.
So we quit. And the band basically was on hiatus for almost 30 years, and then we got back together, and we've been playing ever since.
Wow.
So we book the whiskey, we book
that's awesome.
Coach House, we just do the stuff, and it's the same 4 members.
Wow.
We're all still alive.
Oh, that's amazing. That's accomplishment right there.
Very much alive.
Yes, that's right.
He survived
that
the
is.
80s. That's it.
Survived the 80s, survived the lockdowns, something
my
happens
gosh.
every decade, something.
Yeah.
Stryker just opened for Richie Kotzen at the Coach
We
House
did.
a couple
We did
months
that
ago.
one. Yep.
That was
Wow,
hot.
nice.
Stephen
Yeah.
Pierce. I mean, we've opened for everybody. We seem to get into that as much as possible.
Well, let's check out a Stryker song while we're talking
I
about it.
didn't know you were going to play a
Oh,
Striker.
hell yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
stoked.
go.
What in the world? How nice is that?
We're going to a party and we're gonna be high tonight. Gonna do some drinking and set the mood just right. Tonight's the night, let's go out. Find out what it's all about. Yeah, yeah. Working every day like a dog. When the weekend comes, we'll be rocking till the dawn. Night is the night, break it up. Drink all the booze from my cup, oh yeah. We know what we've got to do. Rock and roll, we do it all for you. Help us out now, we know what we've got to do. Rock and roll, we do it all for you. Oh, we know what we've got to do. Rock and roll, we do it all for you. Oh, all for you, all for you, all for you.
The original Stryker.
All right, thank you very much for that. You're so kind.
Yes, sir.
I didn't expect that.
And Mike Kieran, you got some news for us.
Yeah. Happy May the 8th. I don't know. But it is National Coconut Pie, Cream Pie Day.
What?
And also, you have to listen to this one. It's no socks. That's the things you put on your feet day.
Oh,
Do you want to?
I got that.
Okay.
I got
Yeah,
that.
me too,
But I don't
huh?
have the pie.
That makes no sense. What are you talking about? No socks. Really?
No socks
yeah,
day.
I don't make these things up.
Okay,
At least
whatever.
not yet, as long as until I run out of them. Also today in history, in 1976, former lead singer of the Loving Spoonful, John Sebastian, went to #1 in the U.S. with his great #1 charting. Welcome Back.
Yes,
From
of
the
course.
actual Welcome Back Cotter Show,
Yep.
the theme song.
Yep.
It's amazing history. Okay, so here's some local shows coming up this week. On Wednesday the 10th, we got Classless Act, Desert of Talking Shadows, and Whiskey and the Wolves at the Wayfarer, just up the street here. Also, on Friday, we got I had to write this down, the Queen of Wild Wild West Coast Country. Yeah, Cosette Smith is playing at Umami in Irvine. So if you want a burger and you want a really good show, go see Cosette, friend of the show here.
Perfect.
And then Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th, Brooks Nielsen, which is the voice of the Growlers back in the day from Dana Point, be at the Observatory. Saturday the 13th, we've got Jughead's Revenge, The Uncivil, and like 8 more bands at the Doll Hut. Get your punk on. And Saturday also we have English Beat at the Coach House. And I mentioned this last week, and it's probably sold out, but give it a try. Huntington Beach Rockers Head PE with the Demon and Tantric at the Garden Amp. Birthdays today, believe it or not. Enrique Iglesias, Joe Bonamassa, the guitar guy.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I think I saw him on PBS. Bill Legend, the drummer of T-Rex, was Ricky Nelson's birthday. Tony Tennille, also born today. And Master of Blues, Robert Johnson, from the Crossroads story.
Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend, and a lot of legend around him, was born today. And also, last but not least, the almighty Alex Van Halen.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy
It
birthday,
is
Alex.
Taurus season.
Jeez.
Also, I want to shout out to Taylor Swift.
Specifically for...
Oh, no, it's not a birthday or anything. I just like her.
Well, good.
Who hired this guy?
You did.
No, we love her. We love her. I mean, seriously. I mean, the stuff is good. So there you go. And people love her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, she's
If only she'd sell more tickets.
she's a singer.
What? What? Holy cow.